Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be invited to address you this morning during the United Nations Country Team Virtual Retreat. Let me take this opportunity to thank Her Excellency Mrs. Christine Umutomi for her leadership in coordinating the work of all the UN agencies in our region and the whole UN team for organizing this important event. I also wish to thank Mrs. Amanda Serumaga, the UNDP resident representative, Dr. Musango, WHO country representative, regional directors, and all the international and local UN staff in Mauritius for working closely with the government, especially during the last 18 months. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the UN has always been a privileged partner and one of the main providers of technical assistance, policy design, and socio-economic programs in our country's forward march. Our close cooperation has been strengthened by the Strategic Partnership Framework 2019-2023. This 5-year framework is supporting us in the implementation of our National Vision and Development Plan to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The Rapid Response Facility provided by the UN helped the development of the COVID-19 Socio-Economic Response Plan that is guiding our actions for the protection of health, jobs, and the well-being of the population. A similar response was developed by the UN team following the oil spill and wreck of the MV Wakashio in July last year. A UN multidisciplinary team was promptly dispatched to Mauritius to provide assistance to deal with an environmental catastrophe unique in our history. I wish also to thank especially the WHO representative in Mauritius for his collaboration in our efforts to tackle COVID-19. In fact, his participation on the high-level committee on COVID-19 is testimony to the high importance that Mauritius places in the scientific advice and guidance from the WHO. The worldwide distribution of vaccines is unfortunately unequitable. The COVAX facility, set up to assist states with the procurement of the vaccines, is a multilateral approach that must be further enhanced, especially with the collaboration from vaccine producers. Every option for increasing vaccine production must be supported, including voluntary licenses, technology pools, and the waiver of certain intellectual property rights. Like many other countries, Mauritius had to take and implement a number of unprecedented measures to ensure the health and safety of our population and to contain the repercussions of this unprecedented pandemic. The resulting economic consequences has permeated throughout our economy, disrupted lives and livelihoods, and key economic sectors such as the services industry, travel, tourism, and hospitality sectors have been severely affected. Our economy has contracted by around 14%, and this will very likely exacerbate our challenges to achieve the SDG goals. One of the pressing concerns of my government is to preserve employment and to ensure that livelihoods of our people are not disrupted. In this regard, we welcome the support provided by the various UN agencies supporting our socio-economic recovery. The UN COVID-19 socio-economic recovery plan could not be timelier as we go through this second wave, which has amplified the socio-economic impacts of the pandemic. In this respect, we welcome the UN support in developing a framework for sustainability bonds in Mauritius to help bridging the SDG financing gaps. This mechanism would help channel funds to finance or refinance a combination of both green and social projects in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. While we welcome the G20 initiative on the extension of the debt service suspension initiative, we believe that this initiative should be extended to all countries in need, especially SIDS, due to their inherent vulnerabilities. As the world's immediate attention turns to managing the economic consequences of COVID-19, recovery plans should also address the promotion of inclusive green economy that will create growth, jobs, and prosperity for all while reducing pressures on the planet. Small island developing states like Mauritius are at the forefront of a climate emergency, as witnessed by the recent flash floods in Mauritius. We are hopeful, however, that with the renewed commitment of some of the major players to reduce emissions, the Glasgow COP26 will create a new momentum to address, in a more decisive manner, the challenges of climate change. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Mauritius has a unique and rich biodiversity, and my government is deeply committed to the conservation and sustainable use of our terrestrial and marine resources. We are grateful to the UNDP for mainstreaming biodiversity into the management of our coastal zones and for the ongoing Sapphire project, which has several cross-cutting initiatives for our sustainable development. One important component of this program supports capacity building in the joint management of the extended continental shelf shared by Mauritius and Seychelles. Mauritius is an important geostrategic location when it comes to the heavy maritime traffic lanes in the Indian Ocean. Half of the world's container ships, 1/3 of the world's bulk cargo traffic, and 2/3 of the world's oil shipments cross its waters annually. Maritime security and safety are vital for the socio-economic development of the region. We are grateful to the International Organization for Migration for having extended financial support for the setting up of a database for migration-related information and intelligence sharing in the context of the Maritime Security Program. The UN system has important role to play to enable our region to address challenges to maritime security and safety, such as piracy, human trafficking, terrorism, drug trafficking, marine pollution, and illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. A robust disaster prevention and management system that can be promptly deployed to limit the damage from oil spills is also needed for our region. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our region comprises several blocks of countries which have overlapping membership. I would encourage you to continue working with all of them, SADC, COMESA, IUC, amongst others, to make sure that resources are judiciously used and overlapping of projects are minimized. However, National Development Plan should remain the key reference, and deviations therefrom should be discussed prior to the finalization of any such projects. Regional post-recovery efforts are also ongoing. I am given to understand that the IOC has initiated reflections along with CAP Business and the Agence Française de Développement on measures to improve the region's resilience and capacity in the face of health and environmental crisis. The collaboration of the UN system with the IOC is not only beneficial for the region, but is also crucial to ensure that regional actions are pursued in a coordinated and coherent manner. COVID-19 has changed the world drastically. We must learn from this unprecedented pandemic, which has so far killed more than 3 million people and inflicted a far-reaching and devastating economic shock. The multilateral system, with the UN system at its core, has now, more than ever, an important role to play. Together, we must not lose sight of the longer-term perspective, and we must learn from this crisis to establish a more inclusive, resilient, and effective emergency response for the future. No one will be safe until everyone is safe. No region will be safe until all parts of the world is safe. The virus does not discriminate, neither should we. I believe in the place of the UN in our development path, and my government is keen to see all UN agencies partner and work together with us with one voice and delivering as one. I wish you well and hope that your retreat will inspire you and provide an opportunity to understand the challenges in our region and advance our common agenda for a better future. Thank you.